This video shows how to create an RTS camera with mouse and key-based movement. It also covers how to set up zoom and rotation. Finally, it has the option to adjust the camera position to the terrain. First, we need to download the camera plugin. It is open source and available on GitLab. Just select your engine version. The link is in the description. Move to your project directory and paste it to the plugins folder. If it does not exist like here, just create it. Now we can extract the folder. This is it. Now we can start the project. The first thing to do is to create a few blueprints. The first one is the game mode. I call it BP_game mode. Next, we need a player controller. I call it BP_player controller. Finally, I have to create the RTS camera. It is derived from BP_RTS camera. I name it BP_custom camera. With that prepared, we have to select our new pawn and player controller in the game mode. I can select it over here. First, the BP_player controller. And down here, the BP_custom camera. Compile and save. Alright. We can now select our new game mode for this level. It is the BP_game mode. Let me save that. I also want to make the mouse cursor visible. This can be done in the player controller. Just check this box here. Compile and save. Time to try it. By moving the cursor to the corners, the camera will move towards that direction. It is also possible to move using the WASD keys. You can zoom in and out using the mouse wheel. Finally, you can rotate using the plus and minus keys. You can customize how the camera behaves by opening the BP_custom camera. There are a lot of settings available. This number here defines how large the movement areas at the corners are. If you want to disable the mouse-based movement altogether, you can just set it to 0. If you check Ignore Boundaries, the camera will still move, even if the mouse cursor is off screen. The multiplier defines how fast the camera moves, and the smoothness is, you've guessed it, how smooth the movement is. Lower values are smoother. As you can see, it takes much more time until the camera movement ends. I come back to the height adjustment in just a second. Let's first talk about rotation and zoom. This multiplier is the speed of the rotation. The smoothness is basically the same as before, just for the rotation. Down here you find the speed and smoothness of the zoom. The spring arm lengths define how close in and how far out you can zoom. I increase the number a bit. You can also activate zoom steps, which will add a number of predefined zoom positions. Without that, the zoom is completely smooth. I will activate it with 4 steps. Let me demonstrate that. You will notice that the camera moves to a fixed height. To compare, let's disable it. Not this. This one. As you can see, every zoom position can now be reached. Alright. If you want that the camera adjusts its height to terrain, you can enable the height adjustment. For that purpose, we should create a custom trace channel. To do that, we have to open the project settings. It is under the Collisions tab. Select New Trace Channel. I will name it RTS Camera. By default, we want it to be ignored. Accept and close. The next step is to select the actors to which that camera should adapt. That is usually the landscape, but it could be anything. Let me select the landscape. I have to search for collision. Down here we have to define that the RTS camera should be blocked. In the BP_custom camera blueprint, we can finally enable the height adjustment. We also have to select the RTS camera as trace channel. If you want, you can enable trace from camera, otherwise the height is adjusted to the screen center. Threshold defines the required height difference required for the height to be adjusted. This is useful if you don't want to set up a custom trace channel. Compile and save. Let's try it. As you can see, the camera adjusts the position to the landscape. The last thing to mention is how to customize the key bindings. To do that, you have to show the plugins folder. Make sure this checkbox here is ticked. Move to the RTS Camera plugins folder here. In the input mapping directory, you will find the mapping context. In here you can find all the bindings. Just choose what you want. I will use the arrow keys instead of WASD. Alright, this is it. Thanks for watching.